Hi, good morning. Welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. We had comments, a lot of comments about the fact that we're going for a child, and a lot of the comments are from and messages that we've had are from people who have either considered doing this, considered all of the options for having a child. And as I've said before, these are usually an expat who is advancing years, 60s plus probably, and has had a vasectomy in the past. And some, depending on the age, have had a vasectomy a long time ago, 30 years in one case. And so one of the comments that makes me come back on to this subject is a lady that said that they had gone, they'd been and had tests, and this is the man had a vasectomy 30 years ago, and that they'd said that the swimmers, the sperm, were not in great shape. So they opted not for a reversal, they opted to go for the IVF straight away. They did that, they spent their cash, it didn't work. They had 3 eggs which were fertilized by the husband's sperm, and it failed. Now, this is not unusual. I've cited this case before of my friends in the UK who went 3 times for the IVF. It's expensive wherever you are in the world, compared as relates in ratio to how much you earn. They went 3 times and it failed 3 times. So they went and adopted, and they adopted a child, and they were very happy with the adoption. And then lo and behold, they conceived, and they went on to conceive naturally for 4 children. So my view on whether, if you are in that process now, I don't believe that anybody can tell anybody else what to do when it comes to this, but I'm looking at the experiences that people have shared with me, and one thing to me, in my mind, one thing emerges, and that is that the doctors don't know everything. They don't know everything. Now, I'm not going to go all religious on you, but there's a greater plan than mere doctors and mere scientists. You have to remember that it was not so long ago that, and I mean, I'm quite serious about this, it's not so long ago that they believed that a metal boat would sink. It's not so long ago that we didn't even think we could fly, let alone go to the moon. So, and this was all done on the basis of strong scientific fact. Absolutely. Right? It's not so long ago that surgeons operated on people one after the other, and at the end of the day, their aprons looked like butcher's aprons, just covered in blood from many surgical procedures. And the idea that there were microscopic organisms which could spread disease was actually a big joke. So my view on it was this, and Beth and I, we battered this one backwards and forwards, and in the end I felt that we should go for a reversal. Now, believe me, this is not something that you do lightly. It's not something that you pay for lightly, because it is expensive. My reasoning on that was that if there was a chance that we could conceive naturally, no matter how slim, I wanted it. So even though right now we are in the process of going through the IVF procedure, I'm having to go back in 3 months' time because I'm on another regimen of vitamins and all kinds of stuff that non-drugs. I don't go with the drug thing, but we're on this now cycle of trying to make it so that the sperm that I can contribute will be healthy and will actually know which way to swim, not to put too fine a point on it. Okay, so that's the way that I looked at it. We knew that we could still do the IVF. We've had so many people since then have contacted us. One contacted us recently and said, now you'll forgive me if I don't remember exact details, because there are so many people. This has generated such a great deal of interest from people who have given up, and from people who are hopeful, and from people who are trying to make up their mind which way they should go. And so I don't remember every single detail, but I remember the main theme of any letter that comes through to me. I remember. And the one man said that he and his wife had gone for tests. They'd either gone for tests or they tried IVF and it had failed, and that they'd been told by the surgeons that the sperm had in effect forgotten how to swim. Now the thing is that they come up with all kinds of descriptions about the sperm, how the tails are not quite right, or they're crooked, or and therefore they don't have a guidance system, and a lot of other stuff. I'm not being flippant about this, by the way, because it is of heartbreaking importance to me personally and to Beth. But this man then went away and waited and then gave up. They just gave up trying to have a child. Years and years later, I think it may have been as many as 12 years, his wife suddenly became pregnant. And probably at an age when a few years ago people over the age of 30 were not encouraged to have a child. In fact, wasn't that where the thing about the biological clock ticking, that phrase came from America, I think? And it seemed to me with all of this, and this is all prior to us making our decision about in vitro, I just felt that people can, surgeons, doctors, they can quote numbers all day long. They can quote numbers. And it doesn't make them right. So, there is always divine intervention. Now, whether you want to call that divine intervention, whether you want to call it the hand of the Lord, what I'm trying to be tolerant of everyone's beliefs here, not trying to indicate what my beliefs are. My beliefs are that there is a divine plan, and if Beth calls that the Lord, that's fine with me. I know that there is a great plan. I know that we are motivated on so many different levels of awareness that sometimes we are our own worst enemy, as in the case of the couple that I told you about, that they tried for years to conceive and could not conceive, and then they tried in vitro and that failed 3 times, and then as soon as they adopted, something happened there. It's very clear that something happened. How you describe it in terms of your particular framework of reference, in terms of your beliefs and your frame of reference, is another thing. You'll do your words, I'll do mine. You'll do your beliefs, your foundation of how you approach your life, and I'll do mine, and everybody else will do theirs. But it's not always science. And the kind of science that we are presently working on has been evolving and changing for 200, 300 years. And it's going to continue to change. anybody that actually tries to work out in logical terms, well, wait a minute, I remember that I used to believe this, and it's so wrong, has been proved to be so wrong, that I've had to change my opinion. Now, wouldn't it be logical to assume that there are things now which we take for granted as being fact, as being scientific, and beyond question, and think maybe we're not right about those things that we take for granted right now? So, for anyone who is out there, I'll just tell you what Beth and I did. And we are still in the proving stages, let's face it. We don't have a child yet. But what we did was we said, no matter how slim the chance of us having a child naturally, we want it. And we blew our money. The same as the couple that Sheba and her husband blew their money on the IVF, and it failed, and now they are still without child. I say to you, don't give up. Don't give up on doing what you have to do. The wherewithal, the resources for that will come. Don't pray for Beth and I. Pray for the right thing to happen for yourself now. And my belief is that if you can go and raise the money to do the vasectomy reversal, I would do it. Beth and I did this. This is the decision that we both made, and it hasn't proved to be the right decision yet, because when we went for the IVF first consultations and they saw a specimen of my sperm, they were disappointed. Well, we've got work to do. And then when we went back a month later, after we'd done some of that work, their numbers were actually down. So another disappointment, right? There's going to be many steps. For you to get from the ground floor to the first floor, you have to walk up many steps. And you don't get halfway up and say, why am I not there yet? So, you've got steps to do. Now, for my money, we went and we had the reversal. Not a pleasant thing. It's not something that I would recommend that you do instead of, say, going to Disneyland. But we did it. And now we've been waiting and hoping. And every time she comes on a period, we go, oh well, try again. Not such a difficult task, right? But you'll get my point. Now, finally, we said, why don't we'd saved again, hard, and we said, why don't we go and try with the in vitro? Now, we have discussed adopting. Now, we've discussed adopting, and the main thing is that I'm 79. And so adopting may be difficult. Apparently we have been told that if we go ahead and if we get cleared for, say, I'm hesitating on the terminology here, but if we can foster a child and that works well, then the chances are that we might be able to adopt that child after a period of time. So that's another option that's open to us. But in the meantime, we are looking at the IVF, and we know that the IVF there's no guarantees about this. I actually have triplets in my family, which is something of a daunting idea, isn't it? And so when we go with IVF, they don't just fertilize one egg. They fertilize more than one egg. In fact, our subscriber Sheba said that they fertilized 3 eggs and that they all failed. It's quite possible that those 3 eggs will survive. It depends, doesn't it? So you have to be ready for that. Now, if it fails, then what will we do? Well, we'll meet that bridge when we come to it. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Meantime, we decided on the reversal. We did the reversal. We've tried for about a year to conceive naturally, and now we're going for the IVF, which brings you up to date. We are now on a 3-month setback, getting ready for, hopefully, for going ahead and having a successful fertilization of Beth's eggs. And then we'll hope for a child, and we'll take whatever the news is and we'll do whatever we can. Meantime, we will look at giving another child another chance in life, and that will be very much dependent on the powers that be. And the powers that be have not always risen to the challenge, certainly in our case. So that's just to give some pause for change of mind to the people that are in the various stages of either vasectomy, should it be a reversal, or should it be IVF? Which way should we go? What should be the parameters upon which we decide that decision? What are the chances? Look at some of the comments that we've had on this subject, on this video, and you will see that the most unlikely things have happened. One Scots subscriber said that he and his wife tried for 6 years without success to have a child, and he hadn't had a vasectomy to my knowledge. So a normal couple tried for 6 years without success, went and they tried 3 other procedures which failed, and then they tried IVF, and IVF straight away worked. Now, just to put just how unlikely all of this is, and how it is actually in the lap of the gods whether you conceive. A couple in India in their 70s, right? Not an old man in his 70s and a young woman. A couple who are both in their 70s have astounded the scientific community by going for IVF, conceiving and having a healthy child. They are both in their 70s. Work that out. Maybe science doesn't know everything. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. We'll be keeping you informed as we go along with everything, right? We're not going to withhold something that may be instrumental in you making a decision about your own situation, and which will make it a possible thing for someone who hasn't even thought about doing this. We'll just be completely honest and completely transparent, and then you'll know all of it. You'll know everything that we've known, and you will suffer the disappointments with us if you identify with us as we go along. Believe me, it's not all fun. It's not all hooray, let's do it. There's a lot of tears, there's a lot of heartbreak along the way, and we're just being honest here. That's the only way to go. Thanks for looking in. This is A Foreigner in the Philippines. Don't forget to like, comment and share. Especially share this to those who you may think or you may know are in the throes, in the turmoil, or agonizing about what to do about having a child, because it may help. Thanks for being with me. Bye for now.